Da, 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 da. Na 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 Friendship Supreme. Na na. Star Wars. Friendship. Friendship Supreme. Friendship Supreme. Copyright issues. Friendship Supreme. Da-da. Friendship Supreme. Talking about Star Wars. No copyright. Na ma na 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 na. Na 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 ma 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 na 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 do 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 na 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 na.
Hey everybody, I'm Michael.
This is Cleve.
And welcome back to another exciting episode of Friendship Supreme. We're joined by Lucas here, and he's going to help us ask the real daring question, what is the best Star Wars film?
Yeah. Obviously, Battle of Endor.
Cleve did extra homework and actually went and watched the Battle of Endor for some reason.
I mean, Christmas missions.
Nobody asked him to do it, but he went.
Time.
I mean, the Christmas special also kind of deserves a spot somewhere.
The Christmas special
It's pretty high up there.
is rough.
How dare you?
In the world of things, did it come out after New Hope? Or was it after all three came out? I can't remember.
I think all
I think it was
three.
right after New Hope, no?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I don't think they did.
It was
Well,
before Empire, I think.
but the one I watched had.
No, I just meant the
Okay.
Christmas.
Well,
sorry,
the
I meant
Endor,
Christmas
yeah.
special.
I don't
Christmas
know, because
special.
can you get any traction after you put out A New Hope and then the Christmas special?
Yeah,
That's why it was
think they were
very
just trying to-
quickly buried.
I think they were just trying
It's
to
like,
market
hey,
that
we're
hard.
gonna pull funds, because no.
Disney's better at hiding that than they are Song of the South.
Well, always surprised.
We'd rather hide Christmas special than racism, I guess. So whatever.
Let Jim Crow live.
So we're here. We're going to discuss. Lucas is a good friend of ours, and he tends to show up whenever we talk about Star Wars. He's like a fairy,
A fairy.
like a magic.
Okay.
So many mythical
Very.
creatures. We went with the daintiest one.
He plays
Your
soccer.
together
I don't
3
know.
times
So-
and,
so-
you know, plays like Star Wars. And
Yes, that's how I get here. That's how I arrived.
So, Tinkerbell, how do you feel about the movies that came out?
Give him a better name than that.
Dang.
I don't know the male ones. Are there?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Did you really want to ask me that question and then get into it? And
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea of this episode is not to change each other's minds, but just to see how broad the range is.
really, what it is, we're trying to convince Stephanie which list is correct.
I feel like Michael is, well, I will start with Lucas. I feel like Lucas is far left side of I love it till the end of days. And the Star Wars world.
The IP Star Wars.
Yeah.
So the whole thing.
And I feel like Michael is the I like to turn my brain off and watch it. And I feel like I'm pretty center in that, even though I got stuck at the end of the table.
I mean,
So-
I'm also on the end of a table. Wait a second. There's two ends.
There's only one end, and it's
two.
number one, and we'll see what that is. Do you want to just start with going 9, 8, 7, 6, or
Did you want to talk about all your beautiful pops you put on here?
I put a bunch of pops out. Watch the video and you can see it. If you're listening to audio, you missed out. There you go.
There's an Anakin Skywalker out here, so we just keep yelling, "This is pod racing." He just doesn't even bobble. The rest of them all bobble,
look at that.
man. Look at
That's a
that.
big helmet, though.
Look at the helmet.
Man,
That's-
Poe does not bobble much, and
Because
yeah, it does.
he's got that beautiful hair.
Neither does Wendy. It doesn't really.
He's got attitude. There's
Got a little-
a little sass behind there. I appreciate that they used Windu's voice in.
There was a lot of voices.
There's
Yeah.
a lot. They used Ahsoka. They used...
I feel like they didn't even have to use
No,
Mace Windu.
Ahsoka was an odd ad. That was definitely a. This is Rise of Skywalker spoilers.
Oh yeah.
They that's an odd one because that's super fan servicey.
It is.
They might be excited about this. Let me throw it in.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who it is, then you're like, oh,
have
this
no idea.
must be another Jedi there.
Yeah.
Someone over the shoulder
The only
going.
downside is that that's
believe
kind
you.
of a spoiler for what's coming after Rebels. Because she was alive at the end of Rebels. So she's dead now.
Yeah, she is dead.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Maybe. I would
Well,
assume, right?
theoretically, she'd have to be, considering that
So
the second
voice-
film was called
voice-
The Last of Them. Well,
I don't think any of these names mean anything, man. This was the rise of Skywalker, and Skywalker literally dies in the movie.
Wait, no. No.
Dies.
No.
Skywalker dies.
No. The Rise of the Skywalkers because she then becomes a Skywalker by.
Also,
Oh my
she
god.
could
Okay,
have
hold on a second, guys. This is not good.
Also, she could have just seen anything.
like
She could have been like, Rise of, what's her name? Ray. Ray what? Ray, old woman?
Like, I feel
Ray,
like
your
a
mama?
Skywalker now.
Hey,
actually-
there's a
it
really
should've been the
touching
Rise of
moment going on
Palpatine,
there.
actually.
Also,
really enjoyed
I feel
that
like the
moment.
voices could have been the ghost illusion thingies, and I would have really enjoyed that.
Force Ghosts? Yeah, agreed. I would have
Did
liked
y'all
that
hear
too,
that
but
there
it
was
would have been real tough to get some of them in there.
there was a leak of a cut that J.J. Abrams wanted to do, but they didn't. They either recorded it or they didn't record it. Disney didn't let them use it, but they actually were supposed to have all those actors there with her as Force ghosts around her.
See, yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have made more sense than okay, they're all inside of her and two
Don't say that.
lightsabers.
Yikes.
They said that
Me
in the
too,
movie.
come on, bro.
I know,
They
but
said that in the
you
movie.
can't say it. Also, already distracted. Michael, what's your we will go with, again, super, I Love the World, number 9. We'll go with the middle number 9, and we'll go with this. I judge very critically.
So number 9, you mean the worst movie?
Worst,
Yes, worst movie
one
for you.
thus far. Do I have to go read them? Or am I just saying?
You can. You cannot. I don't care. Whatever. You know what? We have time to fill,
Sort
and
of.
then not because we're cutting it into 3s.
Are
We're cutting
we
this
are
into
for sure
3s.
going to come in 3?
That's what I said.
So that's what it will be.
We'll see. I'm the editor, so my number 9 is Attack of the Clones.
All right. My number 9, Attack of the Clones. Here it goes.
I don't have to look. I don't know. I'm looking. The Rise of Skywalker. Clearly.
Number 9? No way!
Number 9.
Do this!
Hold on a second. Over that terrible Hayden Christensen acting, and the hate for sand, and all right.
Here's the thing. The reason that Attack of the Clones is the worst for me is because it really takes the premise of the worst part of the prequels and says, this is the thing. And it's that I'm supposed to care about a bunch of clones fighting a bunch of robots. None of them have
Yeah.
any weight at all in morality or, like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
The only thing there is the couple of Jedi helping.
I
They
think that it
failed.
has the least amount of action to it. Because I get that the great story matters, but if you're not entertained while you're
Yeah.
watching it, you know what I mean? Like then what do you get out of it? I enjoy.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Steph.
Hey, Maximus over there is asking if you're entertained.
It was definitely not a good movie.
I rewatched almost all of them, and I jumped around waiting to not watch that one, and then eventually watched it. Like it just didn't give me.
Wait a second. You're telling me that Rise of the Skywalker is worse than The Last Jedi?
Yeah. I'll give you a quick reason why.
Yes.
It has the responsibility of being the last movie of 9. So there's a much higher weight to the fact that movie has to be good. Whereas the Attack of the Clones, yeah, it wasn't great, but it was in the middle. It was
child?
a bridge. It was a bridge. It didn't matter as much. And it fit in that prequel trilogy. It fit. It did its thing. It wasn't good at it, but at least it did its thing. The Rise of Skywalker fails for 9 movies altogether.
But
in my
okay, so
opinion.
out of curiosity, what if you looked at them like they were each
Individual
their
movies?
own trilogy? And that
Each their own trilogy?
Because I
would still
I
say
asked if
Rise
you
of
wanted to do
Skywalker
this,
is the last.
And you were like, no.
no. I don't mean ranking them. I mean more as like the validity of a movie.
So,
Because it feels.
so rank the trilogy, not.
I'm just saying, like as a movie in general. Now I'm just on the Rise of the Skywalker because I knew we were going to get into this. I already knew Lucas hated this film, so I knew we were going to argue. And I just mean specifically that film because you're saying the reason that it's number 9 for you is the weight of all 9 films rest on it.
That's
like,
one of the reasons.
I like to think that maybe each one is like for a different generation. Like the original trilogy was like, here, this is for this generation, and then it was like, oh, I'm gonna create another 3 films that are supposed to speak to this. Like, that's why I'm like, when I talk about watching the prequel trilogy, I say you have to watch it with like a child's mind because realistically, when that movie came out, we were children.
We were in high school.
Yeah, like either late middle school, high school.
That's not a child.
I was a child.
We talked about this when it first came out. I think it was
Lucas is
I was
still a
in
child.
the 6th grade or 7th grade.
Yeah,
when
I
it
was
first started
pretty
coming out. I was a child.
What year did it come out?
Before 18.
What year did it
Well,
come out?
before 18, but I mean, you also are like, there's at least one suicidal thought that comes through your mind at that age.
No.
I must have been like 7 when that movie came out. I don't remember.
Stephanie's looking it up right now.
You've had your first love and heartbreak at that age. You're at an age where you're not.
Yeah, you're
I wouldn't
Christian
call you
or Hayden Christensen.
You are Hayden
At
Christensen.
that point, you hate sand. It's coarse and it
hold on a
gets
second,
everywhere.
because
we
he
really
was
got
down
off the
to
rails.
really get her, and that was another thing too. Another reason why this movie's number 9 for me. I text Michael about this scene. She's like, "Hey, can you not do that? That's creepy." And she walks away, and he smiles at her, and he's like, "Whatever you want, my lady." And I'm like, obviously, this man's gonna go murder children.
The Phantom Menace came out in
99.
99.
No, but the Attack of the Clones.
Oh, Attack of the Clones.
I knew the Phantom Menace was 99.
3 years
but,
later?
Yeah, it would have been
Because
2 years later.
these are the only ones I think that are like back-to-back years, right?
This one, yeah.
17, 18, 19.
2002.
Okay.
So 3 years later.
I was 10.
I'm just saying, like, man, to put this one on at number 9, considering I would even, as much as I defend The Last Jedi, I would tell you that one is not.
No.
The Rise of Skywalker was rough. It was rushed. Nothing in that movie had impact because everything immediately got undone, or it
I
just
did hate
moved
that.
so fast that nothing mattered.
Sorry, but I agree with that one. I had a real hard time with. We didn't even like shoot a second ship that Chewie could have been on. It was like, that's there. Don't worry. You want to go back and shoot it? No. Let's just say it real quick and we'll move on. C-3PO, I feel like out of 9 movies of not really being useful, he had his shining moment to be like the star, and he took a moment to just take in his life and his life that he had grown to love. If droids can love, whatever. And then they were like,
moment.
beep, 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 beep. And you're back. They could have even. They're going to make a 10. They're just going to. It's a matter of time. They could have even done it then and been like, I'm back now. I'm good now. We could have had a gap of time.
No, I needed them to be
Everything
melted
got
down.
fixed within a minute.
What could have been cool is using him to fix Dio, because Dio obviously had something going on with him.
Chewbacca should have
Inside.
stayed dead.
There was something inside. Yeah, no, all of them should have stayed dead.
Everyone should have
I
stayed dead.
didn't want Chewbacca to die,
No.
but
it would've made sense.
I could have accepted it.
It could have been.
And if he would have been the
Resolve.
only fake out and everybody else would have died, I could have accepted it.
Sure.
But don't
How many
fake
fake
me out
deaths
multiple times.
can you put in a movie, man?
Because even
I can't wait to see this movie.
Kylo,
Everyone dies in
like
this movie.
he almost died twice. Like because
He did die twice. He just didn't get brought back twice. Well, I guess
'cause
he
he got
didn't
stabbed.
technically die.
and then
He
they
was
said
dying.
downhole, even though falling down holes matters none.
Oh, that's
But-
I forgot about the hole.
right.
So he got stabbed, fell down a hole, and then he died by resurrecting Rey.
Al-
So there was
also-
like 3 deaths. At
Rey-
least one of them wasn't fake.
Ray, I brought you back. Pay it forward. Like, can I get a little bit of that health back? Like,
So were they supposed to just sit there tag team, like,
And then-
healing back and forth until they...
I mean, until the medic gets there, yeah.
The medic shows up, goes.
Well, she seemed
right.
perfectly fine. Like, give me a, let me breathe.
Yeah.
But let me be a vegetable. We let Finn be a vegetable, and I don't even think we acknowledged when he came out of it.
I really feel like Baby Yoda's chance to shine was right then.
Right?
He just dropped
He
it.
just showed up and goes, "Hey guys," with Mandalorian armor on.
The
I
movie
hear
would have
people
been,
don't die.
good. The movie would have been good.
Oh man.
Okay,
No, I agree. The fake dust.
the summary of this movie to me was I felt like I was watching a Star Wars movie by Michael Bay set in the Fast and Furious trilogy series.
Yikes.
I also,
It was rough.
I also didn't need the scale.
It was
Like because it was basically the end of its Avengers Endgame. On your left,
Was
and
it
then all the
though?
ships came.
I wish.
And then
I wish it was.
It was like, I'm the Sith, I'm the Jedi, and then now I have 2 sabers and you can't stop me.
Wasn't that pathetic? No, 1 lightsaber, not enough. 2 though, that does it.
You know what? I would have been completely fine with it if we would have done a Dragon Ball Z style, like Gohan and Goku behind him helping push. That would have been something.
That's actually what they.
If they would put Leia's hand on one shoulder and then Luke's hand on one shoulder and they'll katay and beat him. I'm just saying I can write the movie. Or Solo's part, I was very.
Yeah.
It's like this is a memory, but we're having a new conversation. It could have been cool if like we'd have had maybe like a flashback type of thing instead of. You're good.
I don't know. It was.
I don't know if I have the strength to be good. You are.
I didn't even. You know what's funny? I left the movie and I didn't even remember that scene until I watched someone reviewing it, talking about how that scene made no sense because he wasn't a Force ghost, he wasn't something, he was a memory. I'm like, oh yeah, that made no sense. Like what the hell? The movie moves so fast that you don't have the time to even.
I told Michael I understand that he's not Force driven at all, and it wouldn't have
made
have
sense.
worked. But I wanted him to be at the end with Leia and Luke just because I really wanted one more scene with all 3 of them on the screen together.
That would have been
Because they had the chance to in The Force Awakens and they did their own thing. I feel like you're giving Rise of Skywalker a hard time, but I feel like they had to try to do what they could with The Last Jedi. All the other trilogies were like building to the third. I feel like this one was how can we fix what I didn't like in this middle one.
That's exactly why I don't like it.
Because it took a lot of hardship to it.
Yeah.
But we'll stay on that forever. So if final thoughts and then 8.
Cool.
Yeah. No, my final
Gotta
thought
complain
is
enough.
Attack of the Clones.
Number 8?
No, that was number 9.
Okay, right.
That was my final thought.
Okay.
Number 8.
And then
Rise of Skywalker is there for sure.
number 8?
And Revenge of the Sith.
What?
Okay. Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Also 8?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because this is why I said that I feel like I'm in the middle because 9 we were on the same page and 8 we were on the same page.
Yeah.
It just was. I almost feel like you could watch all the Star Wars movies and not include 9. I mean, not include Episode 1 and not miss anything.
Yeah, that's true. So Phantom Menace,
Look, as much as you don't like it, I really like pod racing, okay?
But did you like him acknowledging that flying a ship kind of was
like pod racing.
like pod racing?
It was a great moment.
Did you? Or I told Michael, because I went back and watched it, and there were scenes that I could get
Also,
behind.
you really like Sebulba and Watto.
That's why it's not 9.
We didn't talk about
Don't try to change my mind, man.
No, just sorry.
I told him I was... Because, okay, I want to do this a little bit. I'll do it real quick. There were some reveals at the very end of the movie, like the Queen Switch, which I was fine with, okay, whatever, and the Darth Maul saber that would have been way more impactful had it not been in the trailer. Because it was in the trailer, you look for it the whole time, and it's a 2-minute payoff.
Well,
and
they had to sell the toys, man.
And he got a crappy death.
He did get a crappy
He didn't die.
Right.
Well,
But
as far as we know, watching that,
But the choreography behind it was
their
beautiful.
fight was amazing.
The-
all the fights were amazing.
the soundtrack
if you go
was
back
really
to it,
good.
except for all the flips, so many Star Wars flips, so many Jedi flips.
Well, I mean, then where did you?
Since we have the Phantom Menace and the Rise of Skywalker out here, there's one obvious thing that we should bring up. They killed Darth Maul, cut him in half, and he was brought back, right? So apparently you can survive being cut in half and falling down a hole. Snoke got cut in half. They could have just brought him back in the next movie.
They had him in the van of
But he's a
water.
clone. Who cares?
Nobody cared.
Huh?
He's a clone. Who cares?
He was done.
We made him up.
Yeah.
Nobody liked him.
And also, if you're
I
going to
don't
make
think that's
someone,
true.
can you make them attractive, or is that
don't
not
think
within the
that's true.
Sith world?
Do you remember when Alien 4, when they had the like hybrid alien, that's an alien human thing?
Yeah.
That's what I.
Was it
Tribute Snoke,
Palpatine DNA that made him, and that's why he looked kind of? But even him in the prequels was not until he got zabby zapped, was not a terrible looking guy.
It was just normal.
I mean, obviously he was sleeping around. He was getting it in
hold
somewhere.
on. It happened after the prequels.
Anyway.
Had to.
Did it? Oh, I guess.
Oh no, actually
not
no,
if his
no.
grand-
He's not a granddaughter. That's right. As a granddaughter, not yeah.
But wait, no, because he still had to sleep around because he had to have a son who then
Right.
had a.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And-
no.
No one wants to think about that.
Anywho, final thoughts there. I feel like we're all kind of okay with where those.
Palpatine was getting it in, that's all I have to say.
The Phantom Menace just wasn't a great movie, but I got lucky that I watched it as a child and I didn't care that it wasn't good. Or else, if I had seen that back then, I probably would not
I think
have kept
as
watching
a
Star Wars
child,
movies.
I think we liked it.
Yeah.
I remember coming out of the film
It was
and going,
fun.
man, this was good.
it was
My
fun.
brother really.
I remember
I did not.
playing that stupid song 1,000,000 times trying to fight my brother with a lightsaber. That happened. And I probably murdered
As a kid, it
song
was
was that?
awesome.
Da, 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 da. That one, hold on.
I don't know.
I have no idea what that was.
It was the Darth
You know
Maul
what?
fight song.
I watched.
Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, that one.
I
Nailed
watched
it.
that movie again recently, and I changed my opinion on some things, but every scene with Jar Jar, I hated passionately.
But I remember even so there you go. As a child, I remember watching Jar Jar and going, "This is kind of funny." I remember when he put his
I
tongue
never
in the
felt that
stupid
way.
little arc reactor. He got numb. He got numb. He was like, "Ah!"
And then we made him a general somewhere. Somewhere.
I didn't
Oh, you
understand.
became
No,
a general
general.
and then ascended. it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who puts this man in charge?
I don't get that. Look, there's a lot of things that happen, and we can look back as adults and be like, "This is dumb."
No, but I didn't like it then.
No.
Okay, and you do
like
realize
Jar
he's
Jar.
the one that like pushed for Palpatine to have
Yeah.
executive power over.
You know
everything.
what?
He is
I,
the bad
I'll
guy.
make
Yeah, no,
Rise of
that's
prequels.
I'll make Rise of Skywalker number 1 if it would have been Jar Jar at the end.
I agree.
Could he have been in one of those vats?
Pony the movie.
should have
Yes. and then all the theories would have been real. He'd
Yeah,
been like,
how was
I
the dog situation?
used
You
them
just
the
tucked
whole
him in the bag.
infiltrated from the beginning. There were some times I couldn't even understand what he was saying. It was like
That's just Gungan, bro.
It was like Yoda speaking with a thick Jamaican accent, and I couldn't catch anything.
Look, the Gungans are gonna Gungan, okay? I enjoyed the nod in Mandalorian when like, what are you, Gungan? 7?
7.
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Attack of the Clones.
Fair.
Okay.
You know what? I will say, Last Jedi gets a lot of crap.
It does.
Um,
The perfect scene for Leia to have died would have been ramming the
But-
damn ship into the thing.
however, I would not have enjoyed Rise of Skywalker as much had we not laid some groundwork for The Last Jedi with this. I'm okay with them having this close relationship. I wish there would have been reasoning why they had a close relationship.
Oh, you mean Raylo?
Yes. And the whole like
Kiss.
the whole like I can pass things through. I'm at the beach. And
Yeah, I needed
and you
more
get
explanation.
splashed.
I told
The Force
you.
FedEx
I
system.
was saying right after you saw the movie, I told you I thought it was really cool. Like I enjoyed the concept, but I needed something to explain how you could pass a lightsaber through, or any items.
The power creep was so high in this trilogy. Like it's like they kept introducing new powers to the Force. It's like, whoa, why do you keep doing that? Stop doing that.
Well, I also feel like Jedis are basically like Superman at this point because we can do whatever we need to do.
But Superman didn't start out like that.
They did.
The very original Superman, all he had was super strength. He couldn't fly. He couldn't use laser beams. He couldn't do any of that. And he wasn't even like.
But they kept just giving it to
they
them
just
as they
kept
go.
adding.
That's
because
what's
they had
happening
to.
here.
I get it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's It's one thing to add, like if you've been adding it over time, but they started with something and they stuck to it. Like there wasn't a huge difference in the prequels to what Jedi's could or couldn't do.
Agreed. Yeah.
And now it's like, whoa, out of nowhere, it's like boom, 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 boom.
Well,
and these are the least trained of all of them.
I told Michael, remember when maybe it just gets like with genetics, like it just gets stronger. Anyway,
All right.
as the generations go on,
They have
It's the
Oprah.
50-year-old baby Yoda that's just out there dumping on mud horns and
give your great
healing
grandparent a
people.
smartphone and let's see how they do. You know what I mean? Like the technology goes and they go.
They have an Oprah of.
And they
the
pass
Jedi
the
Force.
knowledge as they're getting taught.
Can you imagine
So
old Jedi's just having like a crank lightsaber? Right there.
that's like if I have a Rubik's Cube and I learn how to solve it and it takes me forever, but then I pass a Rubik's Cube down to Miles and I teach him, then those tricks don't take as long, and he has a chance to
But no
expand it.
anything on to Rey. She just like
eventually in the rise.
Well, in
she
fairness,
got lessons.
fairness, Maz did just go, "Hey,
And
you're
Last
really
Jedi,
strong with
she
the
got
Force," and
lessons.
she's like, "Oh yeah, I am."
Oh, and y'all remember the whole Maz thing? Hey, a story for another time.
Yeah.
How she got the lightsaber. Never
That's right.
again.
Cleve brought up a great point that I didn't even think about. Oh my god, when he was like, "I got something to tell Ray."
Oh, never came up.
Ray, I gotta tell you. That just is like, fucking, that doesn't matter anymore.
That's
guys.
not important.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, sorry. And we're just gonna keep flashbacking.
And that's fine. But I do feel like I loved that Ray's parents were nobody. And I didn't like that we rectified that because for a moment, for a split second, it was like you
Anyone
could also
can
have
be a
the
Jedi.
Force. You could also have the Force. And
Yeah.
I was like, nope, family tree.
I was okay
well, and
with
that's why
either
at the
way.
end of
Either way was fine.
because at the end of Last of Jedi, remember they had the little kid that was like,
never
"Oh,
came
I
up.
could be."
Yes, and we ruined that
Yeah.
by
No one cares.
retroactively. I get that if we want to make Palpatine the bad guy, that we have to find a way of why he's in it. But he could have just been like, "Oh, I sense you. I sense you out there, and I want you dead."
Lucas brought up a good point. It would have been really cool when all the destroyers were coming out that they all would have been like tattered and like janky looking, like Palpatine, like
Not
kind of zombified. Like if they came up and it was just like old destroyers that
Not like
existed
perfect,
elsewhere.
pristine. You
Right.
had the highest quality
Brand
of money in
new.
the time.
Planet
Hey,
killing
where are we getting the
fleets.
people? Where are we getting the like? How are we getting the resources to make this? What's happening?
So bad, I wanted a glimpse of what those people looked like because I'm like, what do you?
I just
what,
felt like
what
those.
do you have going on?
I feel like those were spirits. I don't feel like those were people. Because when the thing hit down and they like the energy bursted through all of them, like they all just kind of dissipated.
Maybe like
Force Ghosts,
Force Ghosts?
but on the Sith
Okay.
side.
But do you
I
think
can
the
see
people that were in the ships were the same that were on
No,
that
those
state?
were real people.
Those-
They showed
those
people
were
working.
workers
And
doing
that's why I'm like,
something.
where did these people come
That's
from?
what, okay, and also in the Force Awakens, they introduced the fact that those stormtroopers could defect and are real people. They're real people that are forced into doing what they're doing early on and trained, indoctrinated, blah blah blah. Nope. In the end of the movie, it's like, who cares? Just kill them all. There's like millions of people in all this fleet. It's
Here's
fine,
the thing:
just
if we
let them
blow
all
up a planet,
die.
it's fine. There's so many planets because
We've
we
got ways
find
of-
so many planets that aren't important to blow up all the time. And if they are important, or if we know someone there, they get off. Don't worry,
Of course,
'Cause that happens every
even
time.
if it happens off screen.
There was a second planet.
without her little coin chip thingy.
No, the only ticket out of the planet. The only way out of the planet.
But I feel like Last Jedi is 7 for me because I almost feel the same way about number 1. Besides establishing the Force connection between Rey and Kylo, could have just not even happened. Like the whole movie is, I got a plan. Don't worry what the plan is. I want to go make a plan. All right. Well, we didn't. You made a plan. It failed. We didn't really need your plan. And then a 12-year-old kisses Finn, and he he has a moment to sacrifice himself, and she's like, "I'm gonna kill us both," and she crashes into him, and he's like, "The hell?" And she's like, "I don't know, kiss, hope."
Cool.
What is it?
Oh, I forgot about the whole hope thing.
But to be fair, everyone does the hope thing. Also, Lucas, I don't. Never mind. I'll ask you later.
All right.
So this is our list for 7, 8, and 9, and it already caused quite a bit of talking. So we're going to split this up. In the next episode, you'll see 4, 5, and 6. Not episode 4, 5, and 6, but just our rankings of 4, 5, and 6, and then eventually we will work our way to number 1. You can reach us on our social media. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter. They are all Friendship Supreme. Twitter has no I's in the word friendship because all I's are on this podcast. You can also get a hold of us on our email. It is friendship.supreme@gmail.com. We also have a Patreon where you can pay us. It is www.patreon.com/friendship supreme. If you, throw $1 in. I know you have change. I know you have spare change where you can spare.
That's right, we're panhandling at this point.
Here's the thing.
Look, Cleve had to go get a brand new pop just for this episode.
2.
And 2 new pops. The money doesn't grow on trees.
I wish it did so bad.
I have to work right next to a significant other, and I literally hear about how he buys pops all the time. And at this point, if you guys don't support the habit, he's probably not going to have a home soon.
Well, if you just eat your black eyed peas, you get money. That's how you get lucky throughout the year.
That's true. I didn't do that this year. I
Can
typically
you
do.
actually not even sign off without going on a tangent?
This coming from the Rise of Skywalker guy?
And I've been Michael.
This is Cleve.
And I'm Lucas.
And Stephanie's back there somewhere.
We should have... Stephanie, 9, 8, and 7, go.
She hasn't seen them.
I haven't, well, I can't count Rise of Skywalker because I haven't seen it. So I don't.
Okay, top 8. Give us 8 and 7.
Oh, so
The worst 2.
Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, and Last of the Jedi. 987.
Okay.
But you're not going to have a number 1 because you started with 9.
Yikes, dog.
Whatever, 87.
876. You're ahead.
I'm ahead. I'm in the future.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first 3, and we will see you for the next.
Here's the thing. It's only going to get worse from here.
It will.
This is pod racing.
This is Pod Racing. Yippee!